They told him to stay in his place. They told him dreams were for people born lucky. They told him thinking big was dangerous for someone with nothing. But what they didn't know was that the most powerful thing on earth is a poor person who refuses to think small. This is not just a story. It's a warning. Because once a mind wakes up, no poverty can put it back to sleep. Listen carefully. This story may sound familiar, because it might be about you. In a forgotten town, far from opportunity and attention, lived a boy named Aarav. No one noticed him. No one believed in him. His clothes were old. His slippers were worn thin. And most days his pockets were completely empty. Aarav lived with his parents in a tiny house made of cracked walls and borrowed hope. When it rained, water leaked inside. When food was scarce, silence filled the room. But there was something inside Aarav that didn't match his surroundings. While others worried about the next meal, Aarav thought about the next decade. Not because he wanted riches, but because he was tired of watching his parents suffer quietly. At school, Aarav was not the smartest, not the loudest, not the most confident, but he listened. One day the teacher asked a simple question: "What do you want to become in life?" Answers flew around the room. Doctor, engineer, officer. When Aarav spoke, the class laughed. Someone said, "First fix your shoes, then talk about dreams." Another added, "Big thinking won't feed your family." Those words stayed with him, not because they were loud, but because they sounded real. That night, Aarav stared at the ceiling and wondered, "Am I dreaming too much? Is my future already decided?" And for the first time, he doubted himself. One evening, Aarav sat alone near a dry riverbed at the edge of town. The sky was dark, the wind was cold, and his heart felt heavier than ever. He watched people walk past him, people with direction, people with confidence. Aarav whispered softly, "Why was I born like this? Why do others get chances and I don't?" That night, Aarav wasn't angry. He wasn't jealous. He was tired. Tired of hoping. Tired of dreaming. Tired of believing in a future he couldn't see. As Aarav sat there, an old man approached slowly. His clothes were simple. His face calm. His eyes sharp with wisdom. The man sat beside him and said, "You look like someone fighting a war in his mind." Aarav said nothing. After a moment he spoke. About poverty. About shame. About dreams that felt too big. The old man picked up a small stone and placed it in Aarav's palm. "What do you see?" he asked. "A stone," Aarav replied. The man smiled. "Hold it long enough, it becomes painful. Throw it with purpose, it becomes powerful. Your situation is the same." Then he said words Aarav would never forget. "People who think small don't fail less. They only fail quietly." That night, Aarav didn't sleep. For the first time, he understood something clearly. His problem was not poverty. His problem was permission. He had been waiting for permission to dream. From that day on, Aarav stopped asking the world what he was allowed to become. He started waking up early, borrowing books, learning from mistakes. He wrote goals on torn paper. He planned while others complained. His life didn't change immediately, but his thinking did. And that changed everything. Life didn't get easier. Aarav worked wherever he could. Morning, school. Evening, small jobs. Night, study under dim light. When his father fell sick, Aarav stepped up. When money was short, he found solutions. When fear returned, he remembered the stone. He didn't chase comfort. He chased skill. Day by day. Failure by failure. Aarav built something invisible first. Discipline. Years later, Aarav stood where no one expected him to reach. Not rich overnight. Not famous. But respected. He had built a future one decision at a time. The same people who laughed now listened. Not because Aarav proved them wrong, but because he proved himself right. If you're listening to this right now, and your pockets feel empty, and your dreams feel too big, remember this. You don't need money to think big. You don't need approval to start. You only need courage to believe. Because the moment your thinking changes, your next chapter begins. If this story lit a fire inside you, don't ignore it. Like this video. Subscribe to this channel. Share it with someone who needs strength today. This is Next Chapter Tales. And your story is far from over.